Hey everyone, I want to first begin by saying I'm very grateful. Thank you very much for those of you who have followed the channel, liked videos, made encouraging comments. I cannot express the gratitude as I don't have a very large channel, and so everyone that corresponds is a blessing. Thank you very much. As you know, the world is dark and it's getting darker. Yet it is those who follow Jesus Christ, Yeshua Hamashiach, is the light of the world, a city on a hill, the post and bulwark of the truth. And if the truth is hard to find, it is not because God has hidden it. It is because we stopped searching for it and declaring it. Jesus teaches us that when an unclean spirit is gone out of a man, it goes through dry places and finds no rest. So he returns to his former house, and when he does, he finds it clean and swept and empty. So he brings with him 6 more evil spirits, more wicked than himself. Part of our problem with this scripture is we limit its meaning to a personal situation. We have not understood that this can and does apply to more than a spirit just leaving a man. You see, anytime righteousness is removed from a place or situation, it leaves that place swept and empty. Evil then floods in a greater measure than before. This is what we're going through in America today. You see, without speaking about a man specifically, the last administration, as imperfect as it was, the Oval Office was filled with those praying very often. Yet, in the last 3.5 years, I've seen no one praying. The previous administration, there were special task force to break the back of the sex trafficking networks. Hundreds or even thousands were freed from sex trafficking. Now, there are at least 85,000 missing children who were trafficked across our border, and no one knows where they are, according to congressional hearings. In 2023, 112,000 deaths from fentanyl compared to the period from April 2020 to April 2021 of 40,010 deaths. Transgenderism and gender confusion is rampant over the last 3.5 years. The increase in crime is not just because of progressive policies, but because of the spirits that have been released over the country. I could say much more about this, but I'm not trying to make a political statement here. You see, words are words, and the fix is not in words or in Washington, regardless of who the leaders are. If we had perfect and righteous leadership without church coming to understand it is us who are the problem and the fix, we would be where we are today in a very short period. It is Christ that has the answer. It is His church that the answer flows through. But more religion is not the answer. You see, God is love, but religion camouflages God's love. Love is not what we feel, it is what we express. By this shall all men know that you are my disciples, if you love one another. It is not handshakes and hugs or even our smart videos. It is our actions that we take that enable the world to see our love one for the other and for them. Without looking back, as we look ahead, if we truly want to display Christ to the world, we must stop making excuses and begin to do. There are hurting people all around us, hurting in every conceivable way, broken-hearted, abused, bruised. Maybe you are one of the hurting. You see, I have learned that if I can touch the lives of others, the pain in my life becomes much relieved. We now today, not tomorrow, but today, live in a day of defeat and destruction. and we can stay in our seats and watch Jesus pass us by. Or we can constrain him and become the vessels of life and healing that the world needs. But regardless of our choice, you can be sure it is time for the church to be the church. And to do that, yes, it must be a spirit work, but not business as usual. In saying that, we must also understand that what we have been doing, though it worked well in the past seasons, we are like an eagle or eaglet in the egg. We must find ways to come out of our shell to display the love of God to the world. And it will not be seen by sitting in church. What is it that is missing? Well, it boils down to love. And it is hard to love and display love behind the doors of the church building. It will take men and women who are ready to see a true life-changing move of the Spirit of God in their communities and be willing to be more than someone filling a chair cheering on the speaker. Saying that, I do not criticize meetings, but if that is the main thrust of our efforts, we will receive what we sow, and that's simply more of the same. We must come to understand that Satan has worked a plan over us and we did not realize it. It is now almost fulfilled. Yet God has a plan, and we, the body of Yeshua, are the ones who are to carry it out. What is the plan? If it's more of the same, regardless of the venue or the name we put on it, church or conferences or whatever, it will bring us the same results as the last 50 years. I think many Christians are oversaturated with meetings and teachings and have become stagnant. Now, saying that, there are many good pastors, but their calling is to the congregation, and it is very difficult for most to envision a work beyond the walls. Yet our Father is stirring his people to rise up and to be sons and daughters of the Most High. What we must understand is that where we are going will appear somewhat different from where we have been. We must keep our hearts and our eyes on the pillar of fire. We must stop trying to live off of yesterday's victories and gain victories that he gives us for this time. We are in a new season, and it brings with it new things. Do you feel stirred? Do you sense change? I'm going to encourage you to follow the channel and stay tuned. There's more to come.